Fed every Sunday morning by two fabulous women.
Yes.
My mama, my Ima, and my wife. I go about every single Sunday night eating any food in the morning. Let me tell you, you can wake up and have the availability to eat and be fed, but if you don't reach out, take the time and actually eat, then you'll be hungry the whole day, you'll be snippy the whole day, you'll be short the whole day. I want to encourage you, don't leave here without making sure that you eat. I don't go to a restaurant on Sunday to leave hungry. I'm going there to eat. I'm going there to leave full. I'm excited you're here this morning. I'm ready to preach. Acts chapter 1, verse 3. I got two verses that are going to be on the screen. I'm going to wake some of you up who are tired. So just be ready if you haven't had any caffeine. Hello. If you haven't had any food, breakfast yet. Hi, how you doing? If you didn't have a lot of sleep last night, amen, brother. All right, so we're in the same crowd. Acts chapter 1, verse 3. During the 40 days after he suffered and died, appeared to his apostles from time to time. And he proved to them in many ways that he was actually alive. And he talks to them about the kingdom of God. Yes, we are still on this verse right here. We're going to be here for a hot minute, as Lizzie says. Acts chapter 1, verse 4. Once, when he was eating with them, he commanded them, not a suggestion. Suggestions versus a commandment. He commanded them, do not leave Jerusalem until the Father sends you the gift he promised, as I told you before. There's much that comes to mind right here, much that I want to dissect, so much that I want to tear apart. This phrase is what gets me. As I told you before. As I told you before. Mm-hmm. Any other parents? I told you already. Listen, Mr. Williams, I said already. Mr. Rivas, I know this isn't the first time. I've said this already. Let me say it again. Here's what I have to understand in this text. Here's what I want to highlight. The Lord has no problem repeating himself when we're seeking him out. Yeah. The Lord has no problem repeating himself. Parents, lovely parents, you throw a phrase around that we've heard, that we've used to say, I'm not going to tell you again. Parents, teachers, looking down or scooping down, and staring eye to eye, I'm not going to tell you again. So only 5 minutes later, have to say the same thing. Let me just help your vocabulary. Don't use the words, I'm not going to tell you again, because the reality is, in their development, they don't have the capacity to retain all the information that you're downloading, so you will have to repeat the same exact 3 words that you said, sit at table. You will have to repeat those words. Pick up trash. You will have to, am I right, Nelly? You're going to have to repeat these words over and over again. Jesus has no problem repeating himself when you're seeking him out. Yeah. As a believer, as big kids as we are, we sometimes have to be told the same thing over and over again. Yeah. Welcome to a very similar sermon that you heard last week. But I believe the Lord is wanting to share and confirm something. Yeah. I have a message that I've been sitting on for the past 3 weeks. I'm already ready to preach the message. But the Lord said, I felt like he said, and I told Aubrey, I think I need to spend just a little bit more time here. The Lord has no problem repeating himself. The second thing that we see here is that the Lord will say the same thing multiple times with greater clarity. He'll say the same things multiple times with greater clarity. Let me prove it to you, because some of you like the proof. Mary is told that she is going to give have a birth, a virgin birth, and that she's going to have Emmanuel, God is with us, and to name Jesus. Mary is told this. Elizabeth is told the same thing and then tells Mary, so Mary hears it again. Joseph is told this, so then Mary hears it again from Elizabeth and then from Joseph. I know you don't understand. Let me bring this up because she has a crazy birth. And at that point, I believe she's confused. Am I really giving birth in a stable in this no man's land? Am I really giving birth to the King of the Jews, to the Messiah? I don't know if he really told me this tonight. And all of a sudden, shepherds show up. And they're confirming what the Lord had already told her. Yeah. And then as the baby begins to grow up, they're just going to the temple to do a regular dedication. All of a sudden, 2 people, as she's confused, look at all these other babies that are prettier than mine. Look at this other baby boy who is just bigger than mine. He has a bit more meat. Look. And then 2 people who she doesn't know anything about walk up to her and confirm the same thing that she already heard. They repeated what she already had within her, but she needed to be reminded of. Then years go by and terrible twos happen. Jesus is perfect, but Jesus was still a boy. And he's walking around peeing on the wall. I'm sure he's doing whatever other 2-year-old boys do, right? He's not doing his father's business just yet. He's doing another business in the middle of the floor. Yes, come on, let's be real. Jesus is a boy, a 2-year-old boy. And around that time, Magi, wise men, walk up as Mary, I'm sure, is contemplating, did I really give birth to the Messiah? I mean, Jesus, you're peeing on a log outside. Like, you're going to save us all? Crying, holding the baby like this as poop is like dripping out of the cloth diaper. You know, they didn't have regular... I'm just saying, Jesus was a regular boy. He grew up to be a regular man, the savior of our world, 100% man, but 100% God. It's crazy as he's 2 years old and these magi, these wise men show up on the scene to repeat what was already told to her years ago. Jesus has no problem repeating himself. The Lord has no problem repeating himself to those who actively seek him out. You see it there with Mary. You see it with Sarah. You see it with Moses. You see the repetition. You can see it in your own life where he tells you one thing in a dream like Joseph, and then years later he begins to identify what that really looks like. He does it all the time. Your Father will graciously repeat himself when you are seeking greater clarity. Parents, can we father like our Father in heaven? And when our kids are seeking what to do, can we respond with clarity and with grace? Last week we looked at this. We looked at what is the Lord really saying. As we begin to seek out his kingdom, we want to identify and confirm what kingdom that is, whose kingdom are we developing. Many times we'll hear the voice of the Lord and we'll begin to build our own kingdom. We'll hear a direction and then we'll just kind of run with that direction. We start building our own kingdom to then come into his word and realize like, what I was building was not exactly what he had intended me to do. So then you make a choice. Either you alter or you just keep building whatever you want to do. The rich young ruler in Matthew 19. He comes to Jesus and realizes, I'm building the wrong kingdom. And at that point, he has to make a choice. Do I keep building or do I go back? Welcome to my home, which I'm excited that you are here. I'm also excited for when we get our new building. I'm seeking the Lord. I'm going out there. I can't wait. I'm having dreams and visions of us where we're going to meet, where the parking. We're going to have a ministry for the parking lot to help people know where to park. I'm excited. We're not park wherever you want to park now. You're going to walk wherever. I'm not going to cater to you right now. But there's going to be a time. I'm praying and hoping hard this year that we're going to have that ministry up and going. But you're in my living room right now. You're in the same living room where Aubrey and I have intense dialogues and discussions where we will share words that are loving to one another, but they have to be filtered in order to receive that love. We're frustrated with one another from time to time. Several months back, Aubrey heard from the Lord. She heard 2 words, baby steps. She was feeling overwhelmed, as most moms might feel. Most moms deal with the baby season for 5 to 6 years, and she's been dealing with it for the past 12 years and has another 3 to 4 years to go. Being in the baby season. It's just a season. It's a season that she's spent the majority of her adult life living in. It has been the baby season. So she seeks the Lord. She's feeling overwhelmed. She's carrying a load as a mom, carrying the load as a teacher, carrying the load as a pastor, carrying the load being married to me. And she's seeking the Lord for just guide me, give me clarity. What am I supposed to do next? And she hears this phrase, baby steps. And she does what I encourage any other wife to do is she goes and communicates with her husband. I received this word. And so she tells her loving, spiritual man of God husband, I received this word, baby steps. And in my loving and caring way, I said, you need to seek the Lord about that because I don't believe that he's telling you that you need to take baby steps. Well, I probably could have said that a different way, but the reality was I was doing what most of us men do, most of us guys, we're just talking. We're not looking at crossing a line or starting an argument or offending. We're just doing our own thing, thinking about the football, the Cowboys going to Super Bowl and they lost. And we're just kind of like, my life is horrible. So she shares this baby steps, and I have this response. The best thing about marriage is that when you're submitted to the Lord, when both of you are submitted to the Lord, it's the Lord who leads you. And so even though we're frustrated with each other, the Lord is who we're accountable to. The Lord is who we seek. It is he whom you cannot escape in the moments where you're most heated. It is he who can speak through you in the areas where you're just hurt. I want to just highlight this for a quick second because we have some fabulous, some phenomenal single women in this church. I mean, all single ladies, keep your hands down. This ain't the club. You can date whoever you want to date. You can date whoever you want to date. But if they're not in love and committed to Jesus, then the definition of how they will treat you will never be lined up right. Ask Aubrey about this moment. Feel free to do that. I know most of you will. She was not happy with my comment Most of you would probably not be happy if somebody said, you need to seek the Lord about that. Most of you would probably be a little edgy on that. And so we both decided that we were going to take some time and not talk to each other for a couple hours, because that's what you do when you say something that offends somebody else. And so what she does is what I believe many of us have to do, where we're choosing to not engage in argument. We choose to seek the Lord. So I was able to recognize that I offended. And so I sought the Lord, and then I went on with my life, because, I was like, I'm sorry, Father, I probably should have responded better. But it was her word. So she continues to seek the Lord out. Now, time goes by. A couple days go by. Couple weeks. Aubrey is reading and comes across the Bible verse. They gave her clarity. Now, I want you to understand, she's not seeking what that word means. She's just seeking him. She's not spending hours and hours in fasting. Tell me what you can do. I'm not going against that. Help Stephanie out there. I'm not going against that. She is just seeking the Lord specifically in her own development. So here's what she hears. It wasn't to take baby steps, as I heard. It wasn't to slow down, as Aubrey heard. That's why she brought it up. She's like, I feel like he's saying baby steps, but I don't think I should slow down. It was to not minimize the season that she was in, because it didn't look like the season that she was capable of running in. She got some shoes on. That girl can sprint, she can run, she can outrun just about everybody. Like physically, she's pretty well shaped, okay? But just because she has the energy for that season doesn't mean that she can live in that season now. See, when the Lord was talking about baby steps, it was to not minimize the development and the foundation that is being laid when a baby starts to take their first steps, because the baby can't identify their condition of where they are right now based on the steps they take. It wasn't to slow down, but she could have heard it that way. Guillermo, I need to slow down. I need to step out of ministry. I need to step out of being responsible for CMA. The Lord is telling me baby steps, so I got to pull back. She could have took that and ran a whole nother direction. Yeah. She could have argued with me. I know what the Lord said. He told me baby steps. How dare you tell me the question? She could have had an argument with me. She sought the Lord. And after a period of time, the clarity that she was seeking was brought to surface. Yeah. Maybe you're here today and you've heard the Lord, but are struggling to understand or to gain clarity of what he is saying. You cannot get mad when somebody tells you to seek the Lord about something. Yeah. You can't get mad. Because if somebody is telling you to seek the Lord, is because they love you and they love him, and they're wanting to make sure that the connection that you are, the vine that you're connected to is solid. Don't tell me to seek the Lord, but I'm going to seek the Lord. I'm going to be, get ready to seek the Lord. But how dare you? Okay, then I'm going to go to my bathroom and I'm going to seek the Lord. I'm going to go to my closet and I'm going to seek the Lord. The attitude of seeking the Lord to confirm what he has told you and what he is saying does not question your faith, Ellie. It doesn't question your faith because you're seeking the Lord. It doesn't question your holiness or your righteousness. It doesn't question your ability to hear him. It's simply you just realigning and reconnecting yourself with him. Sometimes what we hear runs through our own filter of the world. Sometimes what a child hears, as you study the development, sometimes what they hear runs through the 500 words they know, not the 5 million words that you know. So when they say, I hate you, they're not saying hate with the verbiage and the understanding that you have it. They're saying it with the 500 words. That's the best word they come up with. I'm anxious. Your 5-year-old child doesn't know what anxiety is. They've heard the word, they've identified the word in their own 500 words, and they are repeating it. And you, with your 5 million words, are now developing a world of you based on how they feel, when really they just learned how to keep their number 2 in the toilet and not in their pants. Be careful to not let your child self-identify who they are in their life. That's why you're a parent. All right, let's get off that trip. This is the parent workshop. Sometimes we hear through our filter. We need to hear it through the filtration of the word. I want to do a part 2. Last week I preached on that's not what I said, the words of Jesus. That's not what he was saying. I want to preach on what did he really say. I said, it's not me saying, it's Jesus said. What did Jesus say? We're eating lunch the other day. I want to just share some personal stories with you, if I can do that. Lillian, we're eating lunch the other day, and Josiah was wanting some pickles. Where's JJ at? Josiah, throw your hand up in the air, like wave it around like you're a true child. He's not in here. Where you at? Josiah. Okay. Josiah, the story's about you. You got to pay attention. Okay.
Pickles.
He wanted some pickles. We're eating breakfast, and the boy wanted pickles. I don't understand. Okay, whatever. So the commandment was, the order was, the direction was, you have to finish everything on your plate. So he hears that and he repeats it. Are you saying I have to finish everything on my plate? And Aubrey says, yes, you have to finish everything on your plate. Are you telling me I have to finish everything on my plate? And She says, yes, everything on your plate. And he says, okay, I finished everything on my plate, literally within that time frame. And what we see around the whole table is all of his food off of his plate and just put it right on the table. And he lifts up his plate. I finished everything on my plate. Y'all, many of us do this. We're just like big kids. We like to think that we don't alter to try to get our own what our own desire. We want to think that we don't alter what the Lord says, but in all reality, we're just big kids. We're big kids who want that brand new car. We're big kids who just want to get that job anyway and will cut somebody under. We're big kids who just want whatever life that we want. I can go out and find any church to help me know that I can marry another woman. I can go out and find any church to help me realize that I can marry a man. If I want to find it, I can go find it. But if I want to find truth, and if I want to seek truth, then there's only one area that I can look. This is the mentality of telling your child, don't look at the TV. Okay, I'm not looking. Y'all, many of us don't listen. Don't listen as well as we think we do. I see it all the time. Parents listening, but not really. I'm guilty of it too. I'm not putting any shame on anybody. I see it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, really? Like we know how to have the conversation, but really we're listening enough to hold on to the details that if they ask a question, then you can be like, oh no, I was listening. You were talking about bricks. But you have like, what about the bricks? You have no idea. Your kids know. Y'all know. You know when we're listening and when we're not. All right, so I'm talking about Isabella and Amaya. They come up to me. They want to measure their height. Why? Why? They want to measure their height. They want to see how they're growing. So they say, Dad, we want to measure our height. Okay, Then she says these words. Yeah, Sassy writes on the... All right. I heard enough. All I heard was Sassy does it. You got two options here. When you hear your kids talk about, well, Guillermo and Aubrey were the Williams, you got two options. One, be frustrated. Well, you're not their kid. You want to go live over there? I'll pack you a bag. I'll send you over there. You got two options. Or you can realize the fruit that they're wanting to partake in. Hear the principle. Can we apply that in our life? I've told you no 100 times. Maybe I could say yes today. So all I heard was the SSE, and I guess I got to do what she's doing. I mean, Josie's in the front seat, and so I need Isabella to stay in the front seat. So if I got to write on the wall, I got to write on the wall. And I start telling myself, I start coaching myself, Guillermo, it's okay. I mean, I know for the past 15 years, you're like drilling, don't write on the wall, don't write on the wall. And then now you're like, going to write on the wall? Coaching myself, telling myself, all right, about to break my own rule. So you can have some fun. So just write on the wall. Do I write on this wall? Do I write on that wall? I'm going to demo this wall. But if I demo this wall, then they're going to not let me demo this wall. So what? Do I use a highlighter? Do I use a Sharpie? Can I wipe it off later? Will she recognize that it's even on here later? And so, a lot of this dialogue in my own head, I grab a Sharpie and I say, don't think about it. Just do it, right? Don't think about it. Just do it. Like, woo, live free. Spring break. So I grab a Sharpie and I start. And about 5 minutes later, we got 9 markings on this wall. Everybody had to be measured. Josiah had to be measured. Micah stands up there. Boy doesn't even know what's happening. And then here comes Aubrey. I was like, all right. I got nine markings on there, a bunch of letters because they got all long names, a bunch of scribble. And my 2-year-old's watching, my 3-year-olds, and now they're confused because Dad always said not to write on the wall, but now Dad's writing on the wall. This means we can write on the wall. And so I'm struggling, right? It's kind of like, it's going to be okay, Guillermo. It's going to be okay. Just go pray. Go spend time with Jesus. All right. Time goes by. Like a couple hours. A couple hours go by. We do what we do on a Saturday. We have to clean up the house because people are coming over Sunday morning, so it has to look presentable, right? And so I'm going, and I go behind the door, and what do I see, Nellie? I see a 5-foot board that we purchased to mark their height. Purposely, got a board to mark their height. I grip that bad boy like I'm going to use it as a, And so I grip that board. I come out here, and I'm trying to stay calm because, of course, you find what you're looking for after you've spent the money. That's the way that works, right? So I bring the board out, and very lovingly, I look at Amaya and Isabella, and I say, look, we should have just used this board to measure ourselves. And with a loving smile on their face, they lock eyes with me, and they said, Dad, we said after Theosesi marks on the board, we have this board. They knew we had the board. They knew where the board was. All they wanted was to be measured, and they started the conversation off with the assessing marks on the wall, but we have the board. All I heard was the assessing marks on the wall, so here's what we have to do. We have to do the same thing. We got to build our life up, so this is what they did, so here's what we're going to do. I'm a big man, but I'm a big kid. This year is going to be great. Many of us hear the Lord, but are we seeking him for clarity? Yeah. Are we taking the time to zone in and to hear the whole sentence, or are we just pushing and jumping ship? That's what I'm wanting to drill another week, just staying tuned to hear him. Are we distracted or are we dedicated? This isn't up there, but I want you to, I added this morning, Exodus 15:25. It says, it was at Moira, however you want to pronounce this, that the Lord set before them the following decree as a standard to test their faithfulness to him. Exodus 15, verse 26. He said, if you listen carefully to the voice of the Lord your God and do what is right, if you listen carefully and obey, I've read this countless times. Many of you who have tried to read the Bible in the whole year, you've gotten this far. We've read this countless of times. I never realized that there's two areas to listen and obey. There's two separate areas. It's listening and then it's obeying. Do we listen and do we obey? I do a great job obeying his word. But am I listening? Am I seeking him out? Let me pick on some of you because you showed up to church today. Wendy pops up in the scene. She came out of nowhere, out of the clouds from the sky. Shows up to our house as we're just rolling out of COVID and kids are there and we're hearing about school. And I said, girl, you need to do CMA. The kids need to do CMA. You don't need to pray about it, just do CMA. I don't understand. I need to pray about going to church. No, you don't. You go to church. I need to pray about reading the word. No. There's some things you don't have to pray about. You read his word. You need to pray about CMA. But I was like, this is what your kids need to do. Almost 2 years. It was a long time. She sought the Lord. Sought the Lord. Sought the Lord. And in full confidence, she knows this is where they need to be. Well, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it. You're still trying to figure it out? You seek the Lord. You don't got to figure it out. Right. I sought the Lord. I got confirmation. I know what I need to do. Yeah. Says, wouldn't you want to be sure that you're growing into the wife that you're supposed to be, the mother that you're supposed to be? See, I like studying with some people. All the studying that we do, all the reading that we do, all the effort that we put into growing into the... See, what we do as we study is we take all of that and then we filter it through his word. We lay it all down. Oh, that's kind of new agey. That's not his word. Oh, that's a little bit the prosperity gospel. No, that's not really in his word. We take it all through the filtration of his word because we're seeking him. I'm not seeking to be the best parent. I'm seeking how the Lord fathers his kids. So I'll read books about parenting, but I'm flowing them through the filtration of his word because I'm seeking him first. Where are you calling me as a husband? Where are you calling me as a father? Where are you calling me as a pastor? I'm still a baby boy. I'll always be my mommy's baby boy. She'll introduce me. This is my baby boy. I'll never grow up out of being a... So where are you calling me as a son? I'm a brother. I'm a bro. But I'm still a little baby brother. I'm not big brother, even though I want to put my big boy pants on and act like I'm the oldest and I have the most authority. I submit to my oldest sister. See, I'm a brother. I'm a man. See, where are you calling me? How are you leading me? I believe this is the conversation the disciples were having in their own minds with Jesus. Like many of us having conversations, and I want to make sure that we don't remove the context. They saw Jesus die and be crucified. They saw Jesus come back. They're going on 40 days of having conversation with Jesus. They're expecting Jesus to now grow the kingdom physically, to take Caesar down, to take Rome down, and to establish the kingdom of Jerusalem and putting Messiah, a new statue of the king Messiah to be over. And then everything is rocked. And I believe this is the context, that they're trying to figure out what do we do next? You're saying you're going to leave, and they see him leave in Acts chapter 1, verse 6. They see him go, and they're still standing there, and the angels say, okay, like, now you're supposed to go. Like the Lord told you what to do. And in the midst of the loss of a job, I feel like we're trying to figure out and seek clarity. What do I do now that I'm no longer where I was working? Father, what do I do when I lose that child who I've spent so much time developing and they're no longer? What do I do when that sibling goes? See, what do I do when I lose a friend, A friend that I spent so much time with, and I know that their life is coming to an end. What do I do? Father, I'm seeking you. Guillermo said seek. Jesus said seek. And so I'm seeking. When I just bought a brand new car, and it dies halfway down the road, or the car that I'm trying to make last isn't lasting very well, or I lose a home, or I'm about to lose my home. We're seeking the Lord. And so we're at Acts chapter 1, verse 4. Once, when he was eating with them. I like that. I like eating. It could be because I'm hungry right now. Once, when he was eating, he commanded them, do not leave Jerusalem until the Father sends you the gift he promised. I believe many have the right heart. I believe many are in church with the right heart, with the right pursuit, with the right agenda, but drive the wrong and long direction because they don't simply seek to receive the Spirit's renewal. You got the right heart, you got the right drive, but you simply don't seek. You're going a direction. 20 years of direction, then you realize, I made the wrong turn. Seeking. For those of you who read through the whole Bible in the whole year, you're going to come across a text where the Israelites stayed and established themselves in a land, and the Lord then uproots them from that land. And they say, what about our women and our children? And the Lord says, I never led you into this land. You established yourself into this land, but you were never supposed to be in this land, and you're going to have to leave everything that you developed in this land behind because I never led you here. Now, there's a lot of context in that isn't a availability to then leave your family behind, but it's this understanding, the imagery, understanding that when you develop a lifestyle, you have to leave that lifestyle behind when you start seeking Him. Can we just take a moment to seek the Spirit this morning? Can we just do that? Because this is the reason why I believe you came to church, was to seek Him, not to just hear a word, not to just feel like, all right, we made it and Guillermo saw us there, so we're good. He's not going to make us feel guilty that we didn't come to church. Let me draw a line here, the separation of guilt versus accountability. What you feel based on the accountability is entirely your feeling, but we will hold you accountable for your relationship with the Lord. It's never to make you feel guilty or shameful. It is to help you grow into the attitude and into the person that your spirit wants to grow into. I want to take a moment. You're going to close your eyes. Some of you don't fall asleep. Help those not fall asleep. It's okay. We're going to seek the Lord. Can we just seek the Spirit this morning? You said you are the Alpha and the Omega. You said you are the beginning and the end. You said you are doing something new. You said you are setting the captives free. You said you are the way, the truth, and the life. You said you were sending a helper, your Spirit. Maybe you're here this morning and depression gets you. Maybe your thoughts get you. So you seek the Lord. I love the Christian realm because you hear so many verses and so many words, but then the practicality of how do you apply that is challenging. And that's why you're here in Christian ministries, where we teach the application of His word. So your prayer can sound something like this: I am depressed. I am depressed, and I feel gloom and doom, even in the midst of the sunshine around me. I feel depressed and I don't want to. You said you would set the captives free, but yet I don't feel free. You said we're to renew our thoughts, but everything I think of just leads to death and frustration. You said that I wouldn't be alone, but yet I feel like no one understands. You said you would give life, but yet I feel like I have no life. Father, I don't want to be altered by meds. I want to be altered by your Spirit. Father, I don't want to be controlled by my thoughts. I want to be controlled by your Spirit. Your word says to think on these things. But yet every single time that I do, I realize and I feel like I never get anything that is hopeful or honorable. Do you spend time seeking the Lord or seeking a prescription? I'm about to ruffle some feathers. But we're here to seek the Lord above all else. Maybe your marriage isn't a marriage, so we seek the Spirit. Yeah. I was happily married until the second day of our marriage. So we seek the Spirit. Father, my marriage isn't a marriage. I don't know what you call it. A duck is a duck when it quacks. I don't know what you call this. I guess we're roommates. Maybe you pray the prayer like this. I don't want to hate my spouse. I don't want to hate myself. Father, show me how to love past the pain and the hurt, past the rejection and the neglection, past the abuse, past the lack of trust, past the infidelity. Father, you have loved your people for 2,000 years and have remained committed. You have loved your people past 4,000 years and have remained committed. You have loved your people past 6,000 years and have yet still called us your bride and your love, and you still pursue. Teach me how to give 100% like you do when we receive nothing in return. You pray your prayer like this: for my spirit is willing, but my flesh wants to leave. For my spirit is willing, but my flesh wants to say words that cut deep. For my spirit is willing, but my flesh wants to give him a shank on the side. I mean, don't literally do that, but you know what I'm saying. What I read in this text is he said, wait and do not leave until. Can I change the title of my message? Can I do that? I'm the preacher. I can do that. I'm okay. Let's change this. Scratch it out. Don't leave until. Don't leave until. Jesus said, do not leave until. And I believe we understand this concepts. Because when we go somewhere and we don't get the discount that we were supposed to receive, the phrase is, I'm not leaving here until I get my discount. You're at a shop somewhere and they treated you wrong, or you found hair in your food, and you respond with, I'm not leaving here until I speak to a manager. Some of you strong-willed people, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm going to speak to somebody. I'm going to stay on this phone. I am not leaving here until my voice is heard and I speak to. I'm not leaving here until my phone is at least a little bit charged. I know I'm going to be late to work, but you don't understand. I didn't charge my phone last night. I can't leave without my phone. I'm not leaving here until my phone is charged. We had someone come to our house the other day. Girl walks into my home. Walks into my home. I'm not judging this girl. She needs some help with some social etiquette. That's it. She's just got to church for a little bit. She walks into my home. As I'm introducing myself to say hi, the first words that come out is, I need a charger. That's cool. I'm Guillermo. She comes around the table. I need a charger. Says it again. That's what many people do. They seek the Lord for a charge. But they don't seek him. See, here's what I need. Coming into the Lord's presence. Here's what I need. I need a job. I need help. I need money. I need a car. I need patience. I need peace. Hi, I'm Jesus. That's all you wanted? A quick fix? Man. Nothing wrong. In your 20s, you're still learning, you're still growing. As much as you want to act and grow and think like you're an adult, there's still a lot that we all have to learn. I'm in my 30s, I'm still learning. I'm still learning how to say good morning. I'm not judging her. I just recognized at that moment, this is what people do all the time. Stepping into his presence just for a quick fix. Jesus said, seek first in Matthew 6:33, seek first the kingdom above all else and live righteously. He says it again here in Acts chapter 1, verse 4. Once when he was eating with them, he commanded them, do not leave Jerusalem until the Father sends you the gift he has promised. Do not leave. I know most of your stories. I know most of you are dealing with anxiety and depression. Most of you are feeling with the lack of affection. Most of you feel like you are not respected. Most of you are going through life with no direction and just trying to seek the Lord. Jesus tells the disciples before they started their entire journey to develop something that would forever change the world, he said, don't leave to work until you have been empowered by the Spirit. Don't leave to school until you seek the Lord. Don't come to church until you sought the Lord. I'm glad you're here, but we got to seek on our own. We both spent time in the morning feeding ourselves spiritually before we did church. Ask our kids. They'll hold us accountable real fast. Both spending time with the Lord, separated from what we're doing today, just to feed ourselves. Now, here's the practicality, because I got to apply these two. You can't be late to work. You got to seek the Lord, but you can't be late to work. You get fired. Well, I was seeking the Lord. No, you were seeking the Lord, and he would have told you, you got to get to work at 7 o'clock because you made a prior commitment to be there at 7, so you'd be there at 7. You seek the Lord, but your kids got to be at school on time. Well, Guillermo, we were just seeking the Lord. Sorry, they're here at 11 o'clock. We know we're seeking the Lord. So no. You seek the Lord, and you get your kids to school on time. You have to still take a shower. Some of you know, it's winter, and you go 6-7 days because you don't sweat that much. And you're just like, it's about that time. It's been about a good hot week, You still got to do your normal routine, but you have to prioritize seeking him. I want to give you the simplicity of his kingdom. Don't leave until you act on one thing. 4 words. Seek first his Spirit. Acts chapter 1, verse 4. Don't leave until you've acted on this one thing. 4 words. Seek first his Spirit. The first thing you do is seek his Spirit. I'm not telling you that you can't spend time at night up to 2 o'clock in the morning because that's when the kids are down. You keep doing that. The first thing you do when you open up your eyes and you roll out of the bed, if you are wanting to combat your depression, if you are wanting to combat your anxiety, if you're wanting to combat your tiredness, if you're wanting to combat the marriage and the infidelity and the unfaithfulness, if you're wanting to combat the stress, then seek first his Spirit that will radically change your life. Seek first. Today, tomorrow, for years. Seek first. Well, I tried that for 3 days. That's great. That's amazing. But to be addicted to meth and to coke, it's because it's a period of time. To be an alcoholic, it's because you've done it over a period of time. To be so addicted to that weed that's not addictive, but to make it an addictive habit of something that you do to pass the time, is because you've done it over time. And you think you're going to spend time in the Spirit once, and it's going to radically be a part of your life? 10, 15 years, and you watch the amount of love and affection and spiritual change that you develop in your life. I'm here to fight. I'm here to seek with you. Amen? Y'all stand with me.